It is 8 a.m. I have just woken up and I am more than pumped to get this going. NXT Halloween Havoc Night 2, AEW Rampage, it's HCW Squared. Tune in, let's go, roll the intro. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to HCW Show Squared, the show where we take the usual format of the HCW show, which is now a bit defunct, but the usual format of that show and expand it by the power of, you guessed it, two. My name is Dan, DP, or as we all say, DPZ, yeah. And without any further ado, let's just get cracking into things. You must see the new layout, new like window, so like just over here is like my name now rather than underneath. New location for the title as well, so hopefully it's a bit more serviceable and hopefully it is something that carries on going forward. But yeah, let's get started. So we kick things off with Halloween Havoc NXT Night 2, 31st of October, Halloween Day, night, whatever. We kick things off with a tables, ladders, and scares match. The Creed brothers taking on Los Lotharios, Angel, and Humberto, or whatever they're called now, because they're not actually called Los Lotharios. Whatever. But anyway, the Creed brothers win after a Brutus Ball and electric chair combo for a table on Humberto. I rated this 3.5 stars. In a match that's been widely touted as, you know, the Creed brothers' final match on NXT. This is a great send-off. Plenty of usage on the stipulation, which was something I criticised last week from last week's show. Plenty of well weapon-based moves. There was a Death Valley driver through a table. There was a Gory Bomb and cut a combo in the table. There's also a powerbomb onto a ladder. But the main thing was the rejuvenation of Los Lotharios. Since coming back to NXT, taking that, that step down. It's like they've taken a major step forward. They've taken a step back to go forward. Great way though to open the show and a great way to solidify Los Lotharios and to potentially send the Creeds out. I don't know if the plan is to put the titles on the Creeds before they go, but it makes sense if they didn't. Personally, they've come to a stage where they don't necessarily need the titles. They're probably the biggest team in NXT, and they'd be a pretty good fit for Alpha Academy. Just saying. Get out, like, if you turn Alpha Academy out, like if you stop them being a comedy stable, Chad Gable, Julius, and Brutus Creed. That's a pretty good stable there of, like, athletic wrestling background guys. But yeah, moving on. We go backstage. Shotzi and Scarlett are calling upon the spirits using the Ouija board. But they're then interrupted by Isla Dawn and Alba Fire. Isla and Alba take over from them and are now the hosts of the show. Okay. Backstage still. Joe Gacy's here. He reflects on himself. He likes the pain, he likes the suffering, and he likes the pain he inflicts on others. But he's made mistakes. He's not perfect, and he questions if he's the problem because people keep staring at him, stabbing him in the front, is what he says. He claims that there's no more strings on him. It's kind of vague, but that is the vague that Joe Gacy does. Next match of the night. Fallon Henley against Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany takes out Fallon before the match, and the match is called off before it even happens. Vignettes. Metaphor are going after Akira Tozawa after he stole the trophy last week. They're dressed as the Mystery Inc. crew. So Noam is Scooby, Oro is Shaggy, Hood, Shaggy, Lash is Velma, and Chikara is Daphne. I'm pretty sure I got that right. But yeah, there's that. They're just as Mystery Inc. They go into a spooky mansion. They say they won't split up, and that is a great idea. They should split up, and then they get spooked by a rotten pumpkin man, and they split. To be continued. So this is going to be a running thing throughout the show. We're going back to the ring. NXT North American Championship. Nathan Frazier takes on the champion Dominic Mysterio. Dominic wins and retains following a frog splash. I rated this 3 stars. This was practically the same as most, if not all, of Dominic's title matches. Dominic faces an athletically superior wrestler and retains due to interference from Rhea Ripley or someone else from Judgment Day. It was alright, but uneventful event like this, Halloween Havoc, it's not even a PLE. It's just a, TV special. It didn't feel like the right place for a title change. So Nathan wasn't going to win here. Maybe at the next pay-per-view, PLE, whatever. Post-match though, Dominic is celebrating when he's suddenly attacked by Wesley. Wesley is returned. He's back. But he is not going to the main roster like many had thought. I personally thought that he'd be revealed as Trick's attacker, personally. But maybe not if you're doing this. But maybe it's all a ruse, like to distract from the fact that maybe it is Wesley who's done it. Who knows? Backstage, Andre Chase is with JC Jane. They exchanged quips about how last week should have gone. JC wanted to cheat, Chase didn't, and Chase won without cheating. But regardless, they have the gold, and here come Thea Hale and Duke Hudson. Duke mentions how he's not had to pay for a meal since winning those titles. Duke puts a bit of pressure on Thea and JC to beat Chelsea and Piper tonight. To bring glory, to bring all the tag gold to the university. JC suggests that she and Thea go get ready, but she exchanges daggers with Andre before they leave. Enter Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. They're not happy about how last week went, and Duke promises them that they'll get their title rematch. Then enter Alba and Isla in the background to remark that the NXT tag titles are maybe cursed, and the holders tend to go down a route of misfortune. We're going to go back into the vignette again, part 2. Carl Jackson's here, and she's by herself in one of the areas of the mansion. Couldn't tell what it was, really. And then she runs into... sorry. So she's in the part of the mansion, where she's jumped by several ghouls, and then she faints in a attic kind of area. Oro Mensah has a showdown with ghouls, and he even takes one down with a sandwich. He runs into Tozawa, though, and then Tozawa orders his ghouls to take him away, and they comply. Sorry for me looking over here, by the way, because over here is where my notes are. So I'm looking at my notes and I'm reading from the notes to, deliver this video. But yeah, Lash Legend is somewhere else in the mansion. She's found the Heritage Cup, and then it's not the Heritage Cup; it's just some generic trophy. And then she's jumped by a ghoul, and a massive ghoul. The massive one drags her out of the room. Oh no. We go back to the ring. It's time for the match that is so bizarre. Bron Breakker versus Mr. Stone. This is Robert Stone, Mr. Stone, whatever. The manager for Von Wagner. So yeah, Bron Breakker dominates and destroys Mr. Stone in like 2 minutes. Post-match, Bron continues to attack Stone, threatening to do the same thing to him that he did to Von Wagner a few weeks ago. But before he can, Von Wagner's back. He's got a bandage on his head. He's clearly not 100%, but he attacks Bron and chokeslams him onto the steel steps. Von has a slight stumble, but then he attempts to crush Bron with the steps like Bron did to him. And then Bron escapes. So Von's made a miraculous recovery when last week he was shocked into even walk. This whole angle is a complete farce, complete joke. They need to end it. That's it, really. Just reveal that the segments were fake, that Von was luring Bron into a false sense of security, and he's fine. That's the way around it. Make him smart. Make Von look smarter than Bron here. Have him beat Bron. And you know what? I was fine the entire time. It's not that hard to do. Anyway, women's tag titles. Jessie Jane and Thea Hale taking on Chelsea Green and Piper Niven, the champions. Interesting to note, Jessie Jane enters the Chase U thing. Is there something to that? Who knows? Anyway, Chelsea and Piper win and retain following an unprettier from Chelsea to JC. I rated this 2 3/4 stars. It wasn't a particularly strong match, but that was to be expected here. The only real interesting thing here that happened was to see how Andre or Duke would have cost JC and Thea. And that happened with Andre stopping JC from cheating. So it's interesting the contrast in the actions taken, because last week, obviously, JC tried to get Andre to cheat. Andre didn't cheat, and they still won. This week, JC tried to cheat. Andre stopped her from cheating, and they lost. But yeah, JC, as I said, like she has no problem cheating. Andre doesn't believe in cheating, so someone's going to change their mentality on that eventually. It'll be fun to see where this ends up. We're getting an interview next with Lexis King. Lexis is pleased that his name has created a buzz around NXT, and he started doing things his way. That is just a generic summary of what he said. Otherwise, it was a lot of crap. It was a lot of, hey, I'm Lexis King, and Brian Pillman was my father, and he's no longer defining who I am, and it's the same shit he's been saying for the last few weeks. Anyway, move on to the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament Finals. Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice. Lola Vice wins following a spinning kick to the face. 3 stars. This was good. Kalani has shown in this tournament that without Dana Brooke, she's got the time and the freedom to properly showcase herself. But saying that, I've always said that there was only one true standout in the women's division that's upcoming, and that was Lola Vice. Lola has always looked great since debuting, and I honestly believe that the right call was made here. Lola needed to win this more than Kalani did. Kalani has that star power to her. Like, she has that, what's the word? That plot armor. So no matter what happens here, she'll get strong booking going forward. Kalani will probably feud like Blair, Davenport, or something like that. But like, she'll have a strong feud going forward. She'll have something strong going forward because they see something in her. Whereas Lola would have needed this more because this gets her in the spotlight with Lyra Valkyria. So she needs it more, I would say, than Kalani did. But yeah, right call made. Fantastic. The match itself was alright. It was good. Vignette now, part 3 of Metaphor's spooky adventure. Noam Dar calls out for his trophy, and he finds it. In a moment that is somewhat wholesome, if not delusional, he gives a little speech, motivational speech, about his trophy. He's then surrounded by Tozawa's ghouls. Tozawa then appears and takes the trophy back, before Noam pleads for his trophy back. Tozawa then agrees to give it back to him, only if he gets a match for it. Noam says no, and then Tozawa orders the ghouls to, surround him again, and then Noam breaks down, gives in to the demands, and gives him the match. Tozawa then gives him the trophy back, and then gets the ghouls to devour Noam anyway. So Noam is now dead. That is the outcome of that. Is that Noam Dar is no longer with us, and there is no more Heritage Cup champion. So yeah, backstage, Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn are here, and they talk about some more about spooky stuff. When Von Wagner bursts out the back from Mr. Stone, he wants a match with Bron Breakker next week, and Mr. Stone refuses to make that match happen. And your main event was for the NXT Championship. Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov, the champion. This is Carmelo and Ilya 3. Ilya wins. He wins and retains following a Torpedo Moscow. I rate this 4.25 stars. The end of perhaps the greatest trilogy for the NXT title, at least in recent history anyway. I prefer this over the Gargano Ciampa trilogy. Or, the Cole Gargano trilogy. But yeah, so Dragunov comes out on top of this trilogy. I struggled to rate this match and thought about this match for about 30 minutes before deciding. The ending of the match took away from it, and we'll get into that. And the fact that this match was on normal TV as opposed to a PLE meant that they were always going to get limitations. But saying that, they took limitations and knocked it out of the park, like they always do, these two. I haven't even mentioned the ending yet, so let's get to that. So towards the end of the match, Trick Williams comes out looking angry. But he's not his usual self. He distracts Carmelo, which enables Ilya to put Carmelo away with a Torpedo Moscow. After the match, Ilya leaves and Trick enters. He pulls up Carmelo to his feet and stares down at him. It's not really clear what's going on here, and we don't get an answer because something's happening backstage. Kevin rushes to the back to see Ilya Dragunov getting attacked by Baron Corbin. And then Baron Corbin says, I told you have your eyes open. I told you have your eyes out, whatever. Keep your eyes open. look out, whatever, and then you didn't look out, so now I attacked you. And that ends out NXT. Other than like the opening match and ending match, this I think was maybe weaker than night one. Night one had a bit more consistency. Yeah, they had a bit more consistency and better moments, stuff like this. This had the opening match and the ending match and the ending moments. The trick, not the not the Baron Corbin stuff. Yeah, night two was alright. Thankfully we're back off the gimmicky stuff and we're back to normal NXT next week. But more on that later. So yeah, now we move on to AEW. Actually, no. Transition. So we're going to go ahead now with AEW Rampage for the 3rd of November. We start things off with a triple threat match, as we always do. There's never any story for to start things off. It's always a match straight away. No entrances, nothing like that. Triple threat match, Penta El Zero Miedo, El Hijo del Vikingo, and Commander. Penta wins following a fear factor onto Commander on top of Vikingo. 3.5 stars, I rated this. It was a great, quick-paced match to kick things off. Set the tone for the rest of the night with plenty of high spots. And while it's not usually the sort of thing that I enjoy with wrestling, it was a nice change of pace compared to what I've been watching lately. I think it's just, I think for me it's just situational if I enjoy Lucha or not. But yeah, move on. Backstage interview. Sanjay Dutt offered an open invitation to Ortiz to join his group last week, but Ortiz turned him down. Karen Jarrett jumps in, saying they don't need him. I'd argue the same case for her, but that's neither here nor there. Jay Lethal talks about Eddie Kingston and how it'll be a one-on-one match and that he'll beat Eddie. Ortiz then appears after they leave and says that he'll deal with them next week. Best match. The Guns, Austin and Colton Gunn take on Christopher Daniels and Matt Sydal. The Guns win the 310 to Yuma to Sydal. 3 stars I rated this. It was a fun match. Wasn't too long and helped solidify the Guns before their full gear match with MJF. It was fine. Post match though, Austin Gunn says that AEW belongs to the Bullet Club Gold. They'll take the tag belts from MJF, and Colton adds in the catchphrase. Danhausen will be on Rampage next week. That's it. We get an interview with Saraya and Ruby Soho. Ruby admits that she and Saraya have been on a bit of a downward spiral since Tony left them. Saraya cuts in and says that Ruby wouldn't be where she is, and neither would Tony. It wasn't for Saraya. Saraya seems to take out her frustrations on Ruby verbally and apologizes to her before walking off. With just Ruby now, in comes Angela Parker to offer to comb her hair. Ruby shrugs off his advances and walks off. Then in comes Matt Menard, who questions Angelo's intentions on Dynamite this week when he didn't want to use the steel chair. Angelo doesn't want to hear it and goes to talk to Daniel Garcia, who's got a big match coming up. We move on now to the next match of the night. We have Marina Shafir taking on Sky Blue. Sky Blue wins with a code blue. I rated 3.25 stars. It disheartens me to see Marina not be a killer. Like, I know she is on the Indies, but I get they wanting to build up Sky to the division, and a winner of someone like Marina will do a fair bit building that goal. The match was fun. It was alright. It did put over Marina as well as like this beast, but ultimately she does lose to Code Blue, which is what it is. Personally, it's fine. Sky Blue is established enough to win anyway, so it's fine. I'm not too worried about it. Main event time. Trent Beretta. Still no Mark Henry, by the way. What's up with that? Trent Beretta and Daniel Garcia. Garcia wins with the crossface for the submission victory. 3.25 stars. This was a fine match. Trent is always a reliable partner. A reliable hand. For these kind of matches, and Garcia's on the same level as Trent, if not a little bit higher on the totem pole. He's been nothing more than a meme for the last few months, but good match. Could have gone either way, to be honest. But post match, Garcia calls out MJF for a world title match, and as I'm recording this, that has been confirmed. We are getting MJF and Garcia for the world title on Dynamite, and we are also getting a few other matches that I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that ended Rampage, and that will end this review. So, as we always do at the end of the show, please give us a follow on any of our social medias above, which are above me here. So we have that way. So we have our Twitch. Ray is doing a regular FIFA series on there now. So if that is your thing, or you like a bit of casual football, whatever, that is your series to go to. We have our Twitch, that's Twitch already. Our Twitter, sorry, or X. We have our Instagram, our Facebook, and of course our Threads, which we will update, I promise. And if you're so inclined as well, give me a follow, or give me a follow on this way, fuck's sake, this way. My individual handle on Twitter or X. And of course for the video itself, any engagement is appreciated, so likes, comments, say what you like, say what you dislike. And of course, subscribe to the channel. It always helps to pull towards our goals. If you're a fan of wrestling, why not? We're a wrestling podcast. We do what we can. And ultimately, we want to get content out to you guys. So, if you enjoy what we do, please, let us know you enjoy it. But yeah, I've been Dan, DP, D2Z. And next week, there might not be a show squared. There might be a show squared, but just not with me. I'm going to be in Wales. So I don't have the means to record and edit while I'm over there. So yeah, so next week there could be an episode, or there might not be an episode, it depends. We'll see. But until then, I've been Dan, DP, I said that already, but I'll say it again for you. I've been Dan, DP, that's 3 times now. And I will see you in 2 weeks from now. Otherwise, you might see someone else next week, but it won't be me. So I'll see you then. Peace.